what the most controversial reality show ever created is.
Just when you thought reality TV couldn't push the envelope any further, get a load of this new show called Kid Nation.
Just 40 kids with a chance to build their own society.
Our work is cut out for us.
This is the first time that he's ever been away from home his entire life.
They're not willing to intervene because money trumps responsibility when it comes to television.
Kid Nation. Kid Nation. Kid Nation. Kid Nation. Kid Nation. Kid Nation rules.
So what happens when you send 40 kids into the desert by themselves with no adults and leave them on their own?
What? What?
In 2007, someone turned that into a reality show. This is the insane story of Kid Nation, the most controversial TV show ever. So my goal this year is to give you guys double the amount of videos without sacrificing quality. And to do that, we got to keep growing. So 68% of you guys aren't.
Just go on, Timmy. Go on forth. Go forth into the desert and build a nation with the other kids. Let's go. It'll be great. We're gonna make a show out of it. There's a whole book about this called Lord of the Flies. What? What? You know what? I feel like I have actually heard of that Lord of the Flies, but I never actually knew what it was. What? Isn't this the plot of of Pokemon? Kid Nation, did the YouTuber that originally covered it ever release the second part? I don't know. I've never heard of it before. What? This is insane. What the hell?
Subscribed and it would mean the world to
What
me
the
if
hell?
you did. And I promise to give you more fire content on Visual Venture, and you are awesome. An extreme idea. Kid Nation started because one man saw a problem. A TV producer was worried that the reality genre was growing stale. To him, reality shows were supposed
It's growing stale, so let's throw kids at it.
to be messy and unpredictable. But around 2007, most shows were safe and boring. So he asked his team, what's the craziest show we could possibly make? Something that would shock and entertain at the same time. Their first big idea
Definitely kids building a nation, yes.
was to make it about kids, not just teenagers, actual kids ages 8 to 15. But what would those kids do? They found their answer
Years old? What?
in a disturbing book
Oh,
from the
Lord of the
1950s.
Flies!
In 1954, someone wrote a book about kids trying to survive without adults. It was called Lord of the Flies. In the story, a group of boys got stranded on an island, so they decided to create their own society, and it did not end well. They turned on each other, they fought, and their new society descended into chaos. The story was unsettling. One review even said Lord of the Flies is one of the most disturbing books I've ever read. But when
They literally looked at this book and the replies and thought, oh, this would be a great TV show. Let reality TV just die. No, but I need my guilty pleasure. Okay, I need my Love Island and my friggin' Temptation Island and my Love is Blind. I need those. I don't need the friggin' kids in the desert building a nation. I don't need that. They made a movie of this? Oh my god. Oh my god. Spoiler, kids actually died and that doesn't surprise me. Yeah, that's sad. That's freaking fudged up. What the hell? What the hell? What the hell?
the producers read the book, they had a different reaction. They thought the chaos would make
They were
great
like, oh, this
entertainment.
sounds like
The
a great
producers
idea. Let's do
finally
it.
had their big idea. Take 40 kids, drop them
Yes.
in an empty town, and let them run it
Fantastic.
by themselves. For 40 days,
yep.
the kids would live by their own rules. No adults would interfere, just cameras and chaos. However, the producers would add competitions and prizes just to create rivalry. Looking back, it's
Wow.
obvious how extreme this idea was.
How do you bitch that? I know you've got safety at the forefront of your mind. Inevitably, though, the kids will begin to one another, to form a dominance hierarchy.
Nothing like this had ever been done before, but somehow
How
CBS
did they,
approved the
like-
show. They picked the kids.
How did they even get approval for this? How?
Found the town, got the cameras, everything was ready. But there was one last step. The kids' parents had to sign a 22-page contract. It basically said that no matter what
Oh my
happened,
god, can you imagine actually signing something like that for your kid? Yeah, just take my kid, throw them in the desert. It'll friggin' teach them to grow right up. Yep. Yeah, it'll be a great life lesson. Have you met a TV executive? They're basically brain dead. All they think of is money.
on the show, parents
Money.
couldn't sue, not even if the contestants were exposed to uncontrollable hazards or worse. Each child would be paid $5,000 for their involvement. The contract was unsettling, but they signed anyway. After all, it was just a TV show.
Only $5,000. Only $5,000. Can you even pay them? Wouldn't that go to their parents? Wouldn't that have to go to the parents? Because, like, you can't pay an underage kid. I didn't like Timmy that much anyways. We put him into the desert.
What's the worst that could happen? But the public didn't love the concept. One reporter wrote, the show attempts to turn kids' unsupervised escapades and misadventures into entertainment. Even now, people on YouTube call Kid Nation the worst TV show idea and the nearly fatal reality show for children. But let's get back to the story. The kids were loaded onto a bus and driven deep into the New Mexico desert.
City kids, country
This reminds
kids,
me of Holes.
rich, poor, and everything in between.
Felt like an adventure, but things that were about to go wrong really fast. A whole new world.
I heard that they didn't tell them anything and forbade contact with their parents for a month. What? That, you know what? That literally just, as I said before, so little things surprise me. That does not even surprise me. Wow.
Viewers weren't so sure it was a good idea, but they couldn't look away.
I cannot believe we're watching this
Illegal
show.
kidnapping.
It's just Survivor, but with children.
The kids stepped
Oh my
off the
God.
bus into the desert. They were met by one adult, Jonathan, the host. But he wasn't there to take care of them. He was there to explain the rules, then leave. Jonathan made two big announcements. First, he picked 4 kids to be in charge. They were now the town council.
Members of the town council were the leaders of the society. They determined the rules and made decisions based on what the children did or did not want.
Then he gave them basic supplies to last 40 days. But there was a catch. They had to haul everything to the town where they would be living. This was barely 30 minutes into the show, and they were already doing heavy labor.
On the one hand, it's pretty discouraging.
Wow.
We were having trouble with the wagon. Heavy. But on the other hand, it's almost encouraging because, you know, it can't get any worse.
The trek was long. The supplies were heavy, but they made
Oh
it. Their
my
new home
God.
was called Bonanza City, an empty, dusty town in the middle of nowhere.
Back in the 1880s, this was a thriving mining town. But then lack of leadership, lack of resources, and lack of will combined to leave it completely and totally.
Life here wasn't gonna be easy. One of the first things viewers noticed was the bathroom situation.
Ah.
They had one toilet for 40 people.
And the funny thing
What?
was, there was a line of like 20 kids waiting to use the outhouse.
But that was just the tip of the iceberg.
An outhouse and just one outhouse? What? What?
There was no running water. Their homes were old wooden cabins. For food, they got canned goods and dried beans. That meant they had to learn to prepare their own meals.
Here we have corn and tomatoes, good for stews, but not much else. Tomato
the
juice, baked beans. I hate these, they're disgusting. Canned peaches, canned apples.
They also had some farm animals and a town store. At night, they slept on paper-thin, dirty mattress pads. This was only the first episode. As soon as viewers saw the living conditions, they started blaming the parents.
Because I think the parents are liable here. Because I don't think like an 8-year-old is just like, Mommy, can you send me out?
Yeah, unless the parents were, like, lied to. Like, they lied to the parents and then took their kids, forbade contact, and then sent the kids back after.
Out into a desert with
Which is
Jonathan
what
Tarsh.
Katsuya said.
The conditions
but, like, yeah.
were already tough, but things were about to get tougher. The next day, the kids were split into 4 teams or districts: red, blue, green, and yellow.
I mean, even in that circumstance, I guess you could say, like, why would you just trust and send your kid away? Like, you should get all the nitty-gritty details. But, you know, yeah.
The main reason for this was so the producers could organize competitions. Here's how it worked. Every few days, districts went head-to-head in showdowns. Their performance decided their social class. The team that came in first became the upper class. They didn't do chores. Second place became the merchants. They worked in the town store. Third place became the cooks. They had to cook and wash dishes for everyone. Last place became the laborers. They did the hardest jobs like cleaning, picking up trash, and hauling water. The kids didn't invent this system. The producers did, and it worked. Everyone wanted to be in the upper class. No one wanted to be a laborer, so they were motivated to win at all costs. But something about this system felt harsh, and viewers noticed right away.
The greatest thing is that the weakest and worst group in these challenges do all the physical labor and the most amount of tasks.
To some, it felt like the producers were trying to make things even more difficult. On day 3, the kids had their first showdown. They had to race to pump water. The faster the finish, the higher the class. The red team won, becoming upper class. The blue team came in second. The yellow team was third, and green finished last, so they became laborers. But there was one more twist. If all the teams completed the showdown within an hour, the entire town would win a reward. The reward came with a tough choice. The kids had to choose between something they needed or something fun. After the first challenge, the choice was between extra outhouses or a TV. They picked the outhouses. Why? Because the television would be a distraction for all the work that needs to be done to build Bonanza City. There was one last thing the kids needed to do, and it was the most important step in building a new society.
Every 3 days, the pioneers come together for an old-fashioned town hall meeting.
Who is unhappy with the job that the council is doing?
The town hall meeting was where kids could discuss issues facing the town. They could complain, argue, or even stand up and give a speech. It was part debate, part group therapy. The meeting was always run by the town council, the 4 leaders of each district.
Hey, listen up! Be quiet! All the council leaders have a really important announcement to make.
The town hall wasn't just about talking. It was a place where a kid could quit the show.
Nobody's voted off, Kid Nation. You only leave if you want to.
At the very first meeting, that's exactly what happened. 8-year-old Jimmy, the youngest kid on the show, stood up and left. Jimmy didn't quit because of the chores or the food. He left because he missed his family. But for those who stayed, there was a reward waiting, a big one. Each week, the town council gave out a gold star. It was supposed to go to someone who really helped the town, someone who worked hard, fixed problems, and gave moral support. And the gold star came with a cash prize.
It's a 2-pound star that's literally worth its weight in gold. $20,000.
The winner got $20,000, and even more important, they got to call home.
Yes, this is Alex. And you'll not believe what I have to tell you.
After days in the desert, that phone call meant everything.
I just won a gold star, and it's worth $20,000.
Okay.
Everyone wanted to win a gold star, so they were...
Oh, wait, but maybe the kid's not allowed to, like, discuss what's going on, just what they've won or something.
Harder. They were more helpful.
Going on the assumption that the parents were lied to.
They stayed strong, but not everyone cared about the money. Some just wanted to make it to the end, to make their parents proud. But the real problems were just starting.
I mean, they wouldn't even really know. Realistically, they wouldn't even really know the value of that money. What?
Chicken episode.
No, I don't want to know.
With each passing day, life in Bonanza City got harder. Their biggest problem wasn't chores or sleep, it was food. Most of the time, the kids ate beans and rice because that's all they had, and they had to cook every meal themselves.
Please tell me they only just collect eggs. They just collect eggs. It's fine. They collect
when we first started planning for dinner, I realized that a lot of us haven't done anything like this before.
I need enough for 40 kids.
The kids were struggling. Then one day, the town leaders called a meeting. They had a big announcement. Everyone was sick of eating the same thing every day, but there was a way to get something better. Chicken. The kids were excited. They couldn't
We're going to watch the kids just collect eggs, right? Nothing else.
wait to bite into some chicken. Then
No.
they saw the problem. The chickens were still alive. If they wanted to eat the chicken, they had to do what needed to be done. Viewers knew the show was pushing the limits, but this was insane.
A group of eight-year-olds have to crowd around a chicken and somehow clean it and then cook it and not along the process.
It turned into a huge debate. Some kids treated the chickens like pets, so they didn't want to hurt them. Others didn't care. They wanted to eat. A few kids even locked themselves in the chicken coop to protect the chickens. And one girl threatened to quit the show if they ate the chickens. But in the end, the majority voted to go through with it. They were going to eat the chickens. Then came the next problem. Who was actually going to do it? That's when Greg stepped forward. Greg was 14, and he had worked as a butcher's assistant before. Greg grabbed a hatchet and did what needed to be done.
No, they did not. No. They did not make freaking kids kill a chicken. Holy shit. What the frick? What the frick? This is fudged up. Have a good night, Annie. This is fudged up. What the frick? They can eat the chicken eggs. They can eat the chicken eggs. What the hell?
It was unsettling. If anyone still thought this was a game show, this moment proved it was real, at least to the kids. The chicken debate was a major argument, but it wasn't the last, because the kids started turning on each other. Heroes and villains. The kids in Bonanza City didn't really get along. For one thing, they came from different places. Each kid was different. Plus, they were tired and cranky, so it was no surprise when they started fighting.
Okay. Okay. If you have all those chickens, you will be fed longer if you eat the eggs than you would if you kill all the chickens, because then you don't have the chickens anymore, and you don't even have eggs. But if you keep the chickens alive, then you have the eggs forever. Kid Nation definitely set stunning examples of both systems and slavery. Ugh.
I find that really funny.
What the hell?
You say you were nice to everybody on day one. You treat me like a... I'm not gonna treat you good.
But the adults didn't try to calm things down. The cameras just recorded everything. They thought the drama and...
True, Slasher. We know they have a hatchet now. Oh, God. Oh, my God. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Can we change the video? Who picked this video? Who picked it?
Struggle made great TV. This became the most controversial part of the show. Some viewers thought it was cruel to record young people in these difficult situations.
Was this not awkward to film?
The whole thing is bad to be filming.
You're
Hello?
just silently filming him cry? What are you, monsters?
The class system made everything worse. The laborers had to do the hardest work. They felt like they were just servants.
I'm a laborer now. This morning I got up at 6. I scrubbed toilets, I did laundry, and I hauled a big barrel of water.
Meanwhile, the upper class didn't have to do any chores. They just sat around while others worked. The arguments kept getting worse and worse.
Right now, the only people I respect are you on the Green District. If you all have my back, then I have your back. That's all that matters in this entire town.
I'm going to be an individual thinker, thinking individually, thinking my own thoughts. I'll work with you guys, but I'm not going against what my own...
Yeah, I don't like where this is going. Let bullying and others potentially being traumatized for content. For the content. Let's go. Let's go.
Principles and values are.
Soon, one kid became the center of the drama. Her name was Taylor.
No.
Taylor was only 10, but she was one of the most disliked people in Bonanza City. She was loud, she refused to do her chores, and she didn't care if others were mad about it. When people complained, she always gave the same answer: deal with it.
Anybody
Taylor quickly became the villain of the show. At least
My
that's how
God.
it looked. But she wasn't the only one causing
Taylor,
trouble. Even
no!
the town council created problems. The town council was supposed to lead the town, but some of their decisions only caused more fighting, like when they tried to combine everyone's beliefs into one religious service.
And what we were thinking was to have just one religious service for everyone. And we would like choose a couple people from different religions to come and speak.
Not everyone liked that idea. Some kids didn't want to share their religion. Others didn't want a service at all. The argument split the town even more. And some viewers thought this showed how messed up the show really was.
But this could be a great learning experience if there was a mature
Oh
person
my God!
to actually teach them about these types of situations.
Even after the debate, the chaos
You couldn't see it, but the freaking chat, and these are kids, and people are like freaking swearing at the. Hold on, wait. I'm gonna show you guys. Look at the chat with kids. F you, Taylor. F you, and they're kids.
Experience.
Oh my
if there was
God.
a mature person to actually teach them about these types of situations.
Even after the debate, the chaos continued.
I don't see any food. No food.
Yeah, because you guys killed the chicken, so now you have no eggs.
It looks like all our laundry and all our water is frozen in. I think the town definitely really needs some law and order because the people are just doing whatever they want, whenever they want.
And when things got too hard, kids started quitting. Jimmy, the youngest kid, already left during the first town hall. Later,
No,
two more
not
kids
Jimmy.
followed him. So 3 kids left Bonanza City before the show ended. Each time someone quit, the town grew smaller but stronger. The ones who stayed felt like survivors. Then someone raised a red flag. A few weeks into filming, New Mexico.
Oh, because there wasn't already like 50 other red flags? What?
Officials got an anonymous complaint about the conditions at Kid Nation. Inspectors tried to visit the set, but they were turned away several times. Eventually, the producers convinced the authorities to back off, so the show continued. The kids stayed in Bonanza City trying to build a town, but even as things fell apart, one thing never stopped: the showdowns. Every week, there was a new showdown, but some viewers didn't like these challenges at all.
Oh,
In
God.
episode 8, the showdown that they do is just an immature and idiotic idea from the
One of the worst challenges involved gum. The kids had to chew as much as they could in 1 hour. Then they used the chewed gum to color in a giant picture.
Not only is it extremely unsanitary and unhealthy for everyone involved, but there are multiple kids here with braces.
But not all challenges were this gross. One showdown was all about history. Teams were given pictures of US presidents. Then they had to line them up in the correct order. Other showdowns tested their strength. Kids had to crawl, climb, or carry something. And everyone wanted to win, because winning meant you were in the upper class, and losing meant you had to pick up trash and do the worst jobs. However, a new type of contest also happened on the show, and it turned Bonanza City upside down. Democracy or disaster.
Oh my gosh. Dimitri, can you link the Wikipedia if you can find it?
Remember, Bonanza City was run by the town council. There were 4 kids, 1 from each district. But there was a problem. The council was getting power hungry.
Technically, we make the decisions whether they like it or not. They're just gonna have to deal with them.
These council members weren't chosen by the kids. The producers picked them, but that was about to change. Most kids were sick of their leaders, so the host stepped in with a huge announcement. There would be real elections.
If anyone wants to run against them, raise your hand.
This was the kids' first taste of democracy. They had to campaign, they had to compete, they had to convince their friends to vote for them. The toughest battle took place in the Yellow District, because they didn't really like their leader, Taylor. Taylor was the same girl who told people to deal with it when they complained. Running against her was Zach. Zach was likable and hardworking. He was everything the kids wanted. The election got messy fast.
Yellow District, will it be Zach or Taylor? Here we go.
Kids took sides. The campaigns were loud. There were screaming matches.
Zach.
And finally, it was election day.
Right?
The kids lined up. One by one, they cast their votes. The leader of the blue and green districts kept their seats. The red district voted for a new leader. But all eyes were on the yellow district. Taylor versus Zach, the one everyone was waiting for. The votes were counted. Zach won and Taylor was out. Zach jumped up and yelled.
Wow.
Taylor tried to stay calm, but she wasn't happy.
gonna
Oh
be real hard for me, right, to
no.
get used to sitting on the lawyer benches compared to the councils and up on
Oh
the
no,
house.
what is she gonna do?
The kids were learning how to vote, how to lead, and how to build something, but the show was coming to an end. The show lasted 6 weeks. On the final day, the parents arrived in
Oh my god, 6 weeks!
Bonanza City.
Wow.
The kids ran to meet them. It was emotional. Some kids gave their parents tours of the town. They showed off their cabins and even the chickens they prepared.
This chicken feet from the chickens we chopped up.
Then it was time for the final town meeting.
What?
Jonathan, the host, gave it.
How do you not just immediately take your kid back home and file a lawsuit? What? What?
Last announcement.
Head outside, grab your bags, and say goodbye.
You know why? Because all they see is dollar signs. Maybe. Or they're just like, maybe they even think it's like fake. They're like, oh no, he's just joking. It's like a fake chicken.
Each other for the last time ever. We will miss you and keep building a better world.
The experiment was over, and that's when the backlash began. Millions of angry viewers. Kid Nation aired in September 2007. CBS thought they had a hit. The ads made it look really exciting. But once they hit TV screens, everything fell apart. Viewers weren't impressed. They were horrified. For starters, many parents hated the concept of the show.
Being a young single mother like myself, I wouldn't feel safe sending my 8-year-old child away alone by themselves.
One review said, this has to be the work of an escaped mental asylum patient, right? Who funded this? Child psychologists also slammed the show.
Is this exploiting minors for the sake of entertaining the American public?
Yes.
My guest, child psychologist Dr. Susan Bartell.
Then major news outlets ripped the show apart. One reporter said Kid Nation used contestants as fodder for fun and profit. One headline read, Kid Nation, reality TV gone too far? But people weren't just shocked. They were asking if the show was legal.
They're not willing to intervene because money trumps responsibility.
Yeah, I think that's the most important question. How is this show even legal?
When it comes to television.
Child safety advocates accused the show of violating child labor laws. Their biggest concern was how much work the contestants did. The network scrambled to defend Kid Nation. They claimed the set was more like a summer camp rather than a place of employment. They also said
every kid kills a chicken at summer camp, right? Right?
medics and psychologists were nearby the whole time, so according to them, the kids were always safe. But critics weren't convinced. Another issue was the emails.
Hard labor.
After the show aired, families of the kids received emails from viewers. Some of these messages were quite harsh. Then the kids themselves started speaking up. Some said the producers fed them lines to create more drama. Kid Nation became a full-blown scandal. Of course, not everyone hated it.
Ship my kid off for $5,000. Why not?
But that support wasn't enough to save the show. At first, Kid Nation...
You know what? That doesn't even surprise me. Ship Timmy off for $5,000? Hell yeah, sign me up.
got strong ratings. 9 million people tuned in for the first episode. Then it dropped to 7 million.
I don't have to deal with him for 2 months? Frick yeah.
In episode 2. By the final episode, fewer than 7 million people were still watching. The backlash was so intense that CBS never made a second season. The network hoped people would forget the show and move on, but they didn't. Years later, former contestants started speaking out. They shared their stories on podcasts and interviews. Some said the show helped them grow. Others said it wasn't a positive memory. Today, Kid Nation is considered one of the most controversial reality shows ever made. It's used as an example of how far producers will go for ratings. And if this is what we call reality TV, maybe we need a reality check. Visual venture.
Wowie zowie. How? How was this even made? I don't understand. What the actual frick? What the frick? Alex was a 9-year-old Blue District member from Reno, Nevada. He won a gold star on day 37 in episode 12. Alex is a 3-time Nevada geography champion and represented Nevada in the 2008, 2009, and 2010 National Geographic Bee. Alex is also an international linguistics Olympiad. Wow. Who else? NJ was 12. He's won multiple spelling bees. He was the youngest kid to ever compete in the Scripps Howard National Spelling Bee. Wow. Can I ship little devils from my work? Oh my gosh. I'm hydrating. Stretching. And I am sitting straight. Blaine was 14. He promptly won a gold star in episode 9. Oh. Okay, we have less and less information. Brett was 11, and then there was a 10-year-old. There was a 9-year-old, an 11-year-old again. Wow. Daniel was 14. He is now a writer and actor, recently appearing in a recurring role in Chicago Fire, Hamlet, Objects in the Mirror at Goodman Theater. Damn. That's more than insane. Oh my god, I don't even know how a show like this was made. Oh, we have an 8-year-old. Mallory was 8 years old. Holy crap. Holy crap!